All right, guys, got a good one for you. When your fish tank leaks, what do, right? So this morning, I was at work, got a call from my wife and said, hey, the fish tank's leaking. I was like, oh God, no. So the fish tank was leaking. First thing to do is say, hey, you gotta stop the water from leaking out. So it was leaking pretty fast, and she didn't know right where it was coming from. So we thought, well, you better get the water out before it leaks all over the floor. That would be good. So what she did was she scooped out some water, put it in the bucket, and then said, well, it's not leaking anymore. So either we think there's a crack near the top, or there's a very small crack somewhere in the bottom. But obviously not, because it was leaking at a considerable rate, right? So we filled it up, looked through the top, nothing. Yeah, looked through the top. There was no cracks that we can, that we could see. Filled it up and stuff, and there was no water leaking. And we're like, wait a minute, what's going on here? And you can still see that I'm cleaning up a little bit, and it ruined the little ruined the cabinet here, which is very unfortunate. Anyways, so we're looking for cracks. So first things first is you want to dump some water out, right, and grab the fish and put it in a different tank, or if you don't have a different tank, take it to, stick it in a bucket with the air stone, and then buy a tank, or if you don't want to deal with it, give the fish away to your fish store, whatever. But look for the leak. Obviously, look for the leak, right? So look for the leak. If you see, feel around here, for leaks and stuff. Obviously that it'll be wet down here, so you'll need to, dry it off there, and then look for leaks, right? And dry it off, because there's still water there from underneath. I'm gonna have to drain it down, lift it up, and then remove the water, remove the tank, and then dry it off. But so what we found out, what my initial thought was okay, well, the good thing is the tank is not leaking, I don't believe. So where do we find the leak at? Let's go ahead and try to recreate the problem, right? So hook everything back up, everything's going. The hang on back filter, we just call them power filters, so I'm gonna call it power filter. So anytime you hear me say power filter, I mean overhead filter, hang on back filter. So the hang on back filter was the problem. This was the problem, and we thought that it was leaking there too. But what the real problem was that the filter, okay, two things, right? Two things. Is number one, if you notice, and this is very, very important, if you notice, the angle of the filter is angled to the back. And they usually have these little, on these power supplies here, they usually have this little piece that sticks out, but I broke mine since then, which tilts the power filter forward. So you'll see that water line right there, it'll go forward when it's tilted and backwards when it's not. So that in itself, obviously you'll see the water line. Oh, that's fine, no problem. But second thing, really dirty filters, right? My filters were really dirty, causing this line right here to go all the way up here and start dripping out, okay? Obviously there was the top was on, but still when the filter gets clogged, it'll push this up. These will come up, it'll push this up like so. If you ever see that on your tank, it means that your filters need to be totally clean. Okay, so to fix this, right? We need to angle that filter back this way, okay? So you see that right there? Angle your filter this way. So put something, whatever it may be, sponge or whatever thing you got. In this particular case, I got a little chunk of wood to permanently angle this forward, right? So you can see that the water line is angled backwards. It should be straight, but better going forward than spill out, right? Because if it's gonna spill, it will spill out naturally through the spillway, right? So, and then clean the filters, right? Because when I plugged this back in, I should have shown you, but I was in a hurry because there's water everywhere. The water line was already up here and was spilling out. So, boom, there you go. Check out the electric equipment, right? The power filters, any other kind of things that would hang out. Pumps, power heads, that kind of thing, you know, malfunction. But in our case, it was that. So number 2 is keep your power filters, keep your hang-on back filters clean, and make sure, the most important thing is make sure they're angled at least straight, but a little bit toward the front. So, I mean, you can't even tell, right? Sorry about the algae, but you can't even tell that it's angled forward, but it's definitely a better position that way. So and how do you tell when you need to change the filter? Okay, see how the water's running? If water is running out of any hole that it's not supposed to come out of, that's when you change it. And if this was to be really slow, then it would force the water here. Maybe I got one here. Let me look, because I'm sure that I've got another one. Well, this one actually is okay because there's not water going out over there. But maybe this one here. See how that one is a weak flow? That one needs to be changed, but at least the water's not coming out of here. That's when you know it's really, really time to change it. Let me look and see if there's, let's see, one over here. Sorry about the moving, guys, but this is like a big deal. All right, so yeah, this one here, let's see here. There's no water coming out here, but it's very slow, so I need to replace that filter big time. So these aren't too bad, aren't too terribly bad. But this one, obviously, I haven't changed in a while, so this would have been prevented by proper maintenance on this power filter. Okay, so clean the filters once you start seeing that it's slowly coming, you know, the water flow is decreasing or the water is coming from that side there. All right, but we've got the air going back, we've got the water going back. I'm gonna drain this thing and move it off, and then clean and wipe down the tank, wipe down the cabinet, and then put it all back together. But there you have it, guys. I guess I'm just sharing my misery. I really don't know. Well, I guess this is beneficial to you because you want to make sure your power filters are clean, maintenance, and angled the right way, right? I guess that's the moral of the story. Anyways, hey, it happens to the best of us. I'm not even the best of us, but it happens to everybody eventually. The longer you have fish tanks, right, the more likely chance that you're gonna have an accident, and it happens, and hey, whatever. It's still worth the risk, I think, obviously, to have fish tanks because they're so pretty and they bring you so much peace and joy. But anyways, thanks a lot for watching. I really appreciate you guys. Hit that like button if you like seeing me in misery. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more stuff like this, real deal stuff. And as always, happy fish keeping. Peace out.